Okay, just trying to check and see here if we are in fact live. The screen is different for me than it typically is, and I'm not using the other fancy software. Anybody want to jump in the chat? Let me know that I got it working again, just because it's been an off couple of days. See that there's a couple people tuning in there. Just want some verification you can hear me, if you don't mind. And welcome to the April live stream. As long as everything is going smoothly, we can figure out what we're going to chat about today, because I had a game plan, didn't work. I was actually going to be on the bank today, and it's supposed to be really hot. I did have to work this morning, so I would be getting out midday, and when it's like 27 degrees on a weekend in my area, even in the midst of a stay-at-home order lockdown, people are everywhere. So I would have really struggled to find a spot where I would have been alone and out of the way. So unfortunately, I'm not on the bank today, but still here to do our live chat. Let's see here. Got so many different screens. Just clean some of this up. How's everybody else doing? Anybody on the bank right now that's watching? Crickets. It's always that way. Only when I do the last minute stuff. Let's see here. Just trying to bring everything up on my phone so I know that it's at least working. Looks like it is. All right, so yeah, I didn't really get the time I needed to plan out the typical list of topics that I usually have, but I got a few things to go over, a couple items to show you, some new stuff, not necessarily unboxed, but because I've used it, but I haven't shown it to you yet, so we'll go over some of that. I have other stuff on the way, and when that arrives, which will probably be next week, probably go over that in the next live stream. And I'm also doing some proper reviews of a few of these items as well. I just need the time to get out and film the actual reviews. Let's see here. I have got screens open everywhere. Before I get into the first item, which actually is right here, let me just make some quick notes here. Got piles and piles of messages coming up that I got to get caught up with from the Canadian Carp Society over, I guess, the last 24 hours. Thank you to everybody who has signed up for that. It has been going incredibly well. And yeah, the way the interaction has been on the website from what I've seen has been going super, super well so far. Lots of photos being posted, lots of interaction, people sharing ideas. That's what it's all about. And it seems to be going well. Obviously, as we get more members, it'll get a little bit more active. But for right now, with the amount of people that are in there, yeah, the interaction's great. People helping each other out with tips. Lots of discussions about bait. Everybody's talking about bait. You know, it's that time of the season when everybody's getting ready, trying to come up with a new game plan, and it seems to be that everybody wants to talk bait right now, which is great. I don't get too much involved with bait because the only thing I really do is pop-ups. But yeah, there's a fair bit going on, and yeah, I'm really happy to see how the interaction is. Oops. Okay. Got a message with Dave real quick. He's been out a couple times, hasn't put any fish on the bank, unfortunately, but his spot should be kicking off anytime, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what he gets into. Yeah, I've been kind of bouncing around with a few spots. Did well at my primary kind of late winter spot. Kevin and I have done really well there actually this season so far, and I think we're done with that spot for the time being. We've been moving into some of the local creeks, and we've been doing okay. Kevin's been doing well. He's had a few good fish. I've had a couple, but unfortunately, my last session, I put in a whole day, moved, I think, to 3 or 4 different spots, went to another spot and somebody was in it, so I had to leave that location. Went to another spot, waited right till just before dark, had a run, got the fish on, played it. It went under my middle rod, so I was fishing 3 rods spread out quite well, and it went under my middle rod. It was a left-hand rod that went, the one that I absolutely had no idea was going to actually go. Played that fish out from under there, no tangles happened, got it up, just about to scoop it with the net, and the hook popped out. So yeah, I went all of last Sunday waiting for a bite. When I finally got it, it was gone. Adam, I see that you're in there. Hi. Are you not on the bank? Pretty sure you're fishing, or at least you were fishing this morning. How have you guys done so far? Because that the photos I saw, that spot looked really, really nice. Don't tell anybody where it is. Just, it looks good. It looks like a nice spot. But yeah, fishing's been good. For every blank that I'm getting right now, I seem to have a session where I get 3 or 4 fish, so it makes up for the blank. Caught absolutely nothing so far. Oh man, but the fish are showing, right? You're actually seeing signs. Maybe it's maybe you just need to switch some things up. Might be just a change of color, change of hook bait size. You never know. If the fish are there, then you're in the right place. That's the most important part. But yeah, as I mentioned, doing okay. Like I said, I get a blank, then I do a good hit of 3 or 4 fish, then a blank, then a couple fish. So it's not getting on my nerves yet. Luckily, last weekend, I think this past was the Easter weekend. I got out on Good Friday. The weather was horrible, absolutely freezing conditions, horribly strong winds blowing right into the swim. I had to cast against the wind. I think it was like between 40 and 60 kilometer an hour gusts, and it was pretty much consistent at 35, 40. Horrible conditions. The line was freezing up where it met the water. The rocks that I had my pod set up were just coated in ice. But I went out because it was my day to get out. And yeah, I actually had 3 fish, one of which was my first 20 of the year. So I was really, really happy with that. I did film it. I haven't yet gone back and looked over all the footage from my last few sessions, so I do need to review all that footage. I know there's one session I did that I completely forgot to shoot an ending, so I'm going to have to figure that out. But yeah, some good videos coming down the line soon. And yeah, varying conditions. Some were really warm weather for early season. Some had, I'm standing there in the t-shirt and there's icebergs drifting by. It was absolutely amazing. And then, yeah, last week, absolutely froze on the Friday, but caught fish. Sunday, absolutely cooked, and I lost the only bite I had at the very end of the day. So, yeah, hit or miss, but I'm still happy with my count. Actually have been keeping track. Kevin and I are keeping track this year of how we're doing, what we're catching, what we're losing, what we're catching on, where we're catching them. And as it turns out, I have not marked down that last loss. So I will need to update the records here, but I am currently at 14 fish landed, one of which was 20. It was 21 pounds on the nose. Had a couple of high doubles. And Yeah, I think Kevin's probably close to 20 at this point. But yeah, I'm currently sitting at 14 fish landed for the year. And hopefully I can add to that. I'm hoping to fish tomorrow. It's not a guarantee. I don't know for sure. It's supposed to rain. Really, my afternoon today was the chance to be out, and just because of the conditions and my time, I kind of skipped it. Didn't want to have to be running in and fighting against people to get into spots. Adam, you guys saw some fish this morning, but not so much this afternoon. Well, if they're not rising, maybe they got their noses down. So, stick with it. If you're on fish, they're going to feed at some point, and there's a good chance you get them. So keep up with it, keep at it, and keep us posted. So yeah, as I mentioned, great progress on the platform for the Canadian Carp Society. A lot of new members with the new sign up. It went really well. The first 50 members went pretty quickly. I think we're well up over 80 members at this point, and that's just amazing. We are running into, let's see here, another week and a half, or just shy of a week and a half left of that introductory offer for membership. So if you haven't signed up yet and you are considering it, just keep in mind on April 20th, the prices go up to their normal rate. So the current rate that they're at is that introductory offer. So if you want to get in while there's a deal, jump in before the 20th. And then the price for membership goes up on both the basic and the pro member package. But yeah, as you've probably seen the thumbnail, I got my first 50 member stickers and patch, Velcro patch, and a cool pin. So anybody who is within that first 50 sign up members all got that little package, which is awesome. Something a little bit unique. And yeah, the way the chats have been going with those of us who kind of work a little bit more behind the scenes, everybody's excited. The season's kicking off early. People are catching. People are positive. People are in a great mood about it because it's, with everything else that's going on, and it's so tough to do things, and people's personal lives and work are being so affected by what's going on. The fact that everybody can just chat about fishing and enjoy it and share with one another, how they're doing. It's been really good. LP, nice to see you there. Sorry about your foot, bud. Unfortunately, LP had a little bit of an accident, and yeah, he's going to be down for a few weeks. So that's one less rod in Quebec that has to worry about getting into a bunch of fish for a while. So the fish get a break. But yeah, hopefully you're up and moving soon, because the photos looked bad. What was it you said? You had a bunch of, 3 steel plates and some pins to put your foot back together? You're like half bionic now? Become a carp catching robot at this point? But yeah, the basically the social media platform that's part of your membership access for the Carp Society, it's being able to be away from a lot of the negativity that's on other platforms like Facebook, which just drives everybody nuts. This platform is basically everybody just talking fishing, so you don't have all the other political crap coming into play, a lot of weird opinions that people may have. All that gets pushed aside and everybody talks fishing, and it's great. It's absolutely great. I'm really, really happy to be in there and being part of that. 12 screws and 3 plates. Now, are they in there permanently, or do you get to get them out at some point and maybe keep them? Because if you get to get those out and keep them at some point, I would be putting them in a frame with a date, and if you caught any fish that day, a picture of the fish, because that would be cool. Permanently, all your life in there. Okay, next time I see you, I'm bringing a magnet. So if you try running for your rod, just have a little magnet on a rope and catch your foot. That would be fun. Oh, you blanked that day. That sucks. That makes it even worse. But, just think, a couple more broken bones where you can get some more metal and you become more of a cyborg, and yeah, it'd be awesome. So I know that, like I said, watching the platform, watching what's going on, a lot of people have been catching so far this spring, which is fantastic. Um, has anybody actually crushed their PB already this season? Anybody actually had any really special captures so far? Um, like I mentioned last weekend, I got my first 20 of the year, but 2 weeks before that, I got the first mirror that I've had in a couple of years. I think I had 2 in 2017, and I think I had one in 2018. That fully scaled mirror that I had at that one Park Lake has been recaptured by Adam, um, as well as a few of our other friends in the Fat Boys. So yeah, that mirror's been caught a couple of times since I've had it. But after that one, I haven't had a mirror since. So it was a real nice treat to get the one that I did this spring, fishing with Kevin and Reg. It was a really unique one. That is probably the prettiest mirror that I've had, the one I had a few weeks ago. So that one I will be looking to get probably a framed picture of the two sides of that fish for the wall, because that was a special one. That one was a really good one. And the neat thing about that one is that came while we were doing a Carp Society kind of live event, back and forth, friendly competition with some of the other guys. So yeah, it was really good. It was really good. I did not cry when I caught it, no, but I was shaking for probably about 2 or 3 hours. I was that excited. It was, I couldn't stop. I was vibrating. It was amazing, because I hadn't seen one in so long. Then to have gotten that one, and it's so immaculate. And we were fishing crystal clear water, and from about 30, 35 feet out, we could see that fish turning, and the scales were glowing, like they were just shimmering. They were so gold. And we could just see the spotty patching of these shimmers. And the closer we looked, the more we realized, oh my God, it's a mirror. And then it turned the other way, and those scales on the other side were shimmering the same way. And it was an incredible fish, absolutely incredible fish. Not big at all. It was 8, 9 pounds, maybe, yeah, about 8 or 9 pounds, but it was stunning. It was absolutely stunning fish. Really, really happy that I was able to get that. And believe it or not, out of that spot, that's only the second mirror that I've ever caught from that particular location. The first one I got is still my long-standing mirror PB at just over 18 pounds. And I caught that one probably, I want to say about 1997, 1998, somewhere around there. So yeah, it's been a long time since I've had one from that location. And yeah, it was really, really exciting. Really, really good. Okay, who wants to see some new gear? So I got some. Not an unboxing, because I've actually used some of it already. And when I talk about one of them, it's gonna kind of hint at something else that I've got showing up. I bought it a while ago, but it was picked up by a friend. Demir picked it up for me, and then because our schedules are tough to try and line up, he passed it to Len, who I might see sooner, but I haven't seen Len yet, so I don't have it here yet, but I have another part that goes with it. So right here, this is the Corda Compact rod sleeve. So for those of you that remember, I bought that Corda Compact rucksack. This is part of that luggage range. This is the 10-foot version, and she's pretty. Same material, same heavy duty padding. And the neat thing is here is that it's got a little lead pocket. So when you put your made up rod in it, you take the lead off. You know, if you're using a lead clip, drop it right in there. This one is not my primary one. Ooh, I got to be careful. I have Snake Mountain up on top of that shelf, and I almost knocked it down. I can't have that. So yeah, really, really sleek, heavy. You can actually see it right there. Really, really heavy duty padding, right? All the way down. Nice little protective kind of rubber at the end. And at this end, you can see that the zipper actually comes all the way down. It's not at the top like some are, where you kind of have to pull it back to get the rod tip out. It actually comes down quite a ways, and it really helps with that. It's got one handle just on the one side. Now, the rod that I have in here is my 10-foot spod rod, which is also new. And I've used it a few times now with the spod and a deeper sonar. And I'll be honest with you, this utility rod, I think I like better than my 12-footer. It's amazing. So dual zips, I absolutely love this. This is great. Now, what I was mentioning that Demir had picked up for me that's currently with Len right now, so they'll eventually get it to me. I bought the 3-rod version of this for the 10-footers. So my Witchwood extricator MLTs will go into this, into the 3-rod version, so I can keep the 3 of them together. Then I have this separate one for the utility rod, because I don't always take this with me. So I wanted to make sure it was protected. Sucks that there's no shoulder strap. Honestly, yeah, I'd prefer a shoulder strap. It sucks that there's, at the very least, not clips for it. But really, when it comes down to it, 9 times out of 10, this is either going to be on the barrow or it's at home. I don't always take a utility rod out with me, especially if I'm just fishing a small creek. I don't need it. You know, I'll take this out by itself, spend an hour mapping out a swim a couple of days before I go there, you know, with the deeper, maybe put a little bit of bait out with it. But then for the actual session, this probably won't be necessarily out with me. But I agree, a shoulder strap would have been valuable. Opened up here. Now, this is already made up because like I said, I was using it. It comes out nice and easy. Real, like I said, real heavy duty padding on this thing. Put this aside for a second. All right, so those of you that know, I use Witchwood reels, and I have been for years. This is probably the longest running Witchwood reel I've had. This is my Witchwood Riot 65S Big Pit. Used this as my primary carp reel for a number of years. I've re-spooled it with new line. This is now kind of like my utility reel for the utility rod. And this is the 10-foot Witchwood Riot utility rod. Duplon handle. So yes, it doesn't match my corks, but I didn't want it to because I'm going to be spotting with this. And a lot of times my spot mixes are sloppy and I don't want to get that all in the cork. So I went with something that I can clean a lot easier. Another thing about this that's really cool. Whoops, hit the stuff. You know, if I'm going to use the marker float, let's say I don't want to take the deeper out or it's charging, then I can put the marker float out and it's got marks for, 6 inches and 12 inches right here. See how you can see that. There's a little whipping right here, 6 and 12 inches from the reel. So marker float work, you can go in your feet or half feet to get a really accurate reading. It's absolutely great. Even with this reel, using this with the spot, I've been using it with the TF Gear Air Bomb. It's been handling it like a dream. Casts the deeper sonar beautifully, and it's light. You know, the reel's kind of a heavy reel, but it's overall, this is balanced incredibly well for a 10-foot rod with this size reel on it. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I love my Daiwa Black Widow G50 spod rod, the 12-footer. It's great, and I've been using it for years. But this feels nicer. This really does cast the spawn a little bit nicer, cast the deeper a little bit nicer. The only difference I would say is that obviously I'm not going to heft this out with the same kind of range that I'm going to put a spawn out with the 12-footer. To be honest with you, I think I could probably get it pretty close in distance with how good this feels. It feels really, really tough. But obviously I got this for shorter range work, so I don't need to be bombing it. If I'm going to be fishing somewhere where I need to fish at range, I'm going to be using my 12-footers. But yeah, those are 2 new items. And like I said, the 3-rod version of that bag is on its way for the extricators. Those rods and the extricator reels that I put on them, I really like playing fish on those. It really is nice. They're 3-pound test curve, as we went over back when I got them. I think I'm going to have to sit down and do a proper review of the rods and reels together. I don't think I need to do a review of the utility rod. I may. The rod bags for sure. I still need to do a review of the rucksack. So I'll probably do all of the luggage in one shot because, yeah, as LP pointed out, there's no shoulder strap on there. There are things missing from the rucksack that I wish were there. So we'll definitely have to go over some of that in a few separate videos. Let's try and get caught up here. Dave Penderbury. No need to invest more time into mapping my swims. Yeah, definitely do. I know you've been letting around, but you know your swims pretty well. So maybe it's just different parts of the swims that you don't typically fish. Is that what you're doing? Maybe I need to come out there with the deeper and we can both get a good look at it for you. I haven't figured out the feature of where it saves all the mapping that you're doing. I don't play with the settings too much, but basically what happens is I put the deeper in the water. It connects with Wi-Fi to my phone. Then I just open up the app, and you just, like, it's searching right now. It's not going to find it, but as soon as I open up the app, wow, got really bright lights on there. Basically, it's just a blank screen with all the options across the top, and it shows me the depth, shows me the bottom contour. That's really all I need out of the whole thing. I love it. And it's been really helpful, actually, for us to find surface temperatures that were warmer than we thought in a few spots. Some of the creeks that Kevin and I have been fishing, we've been finding out that the channel is much more narrow than we expected. And in some places where we would see a lot more boat traffic, it was actually shallower than areas that don't see any boat traffic. So yeah, it was really neat with what we're finding out there versus what we've kind of suspected over so many years of fishing some of these spots, how different they actually are, or how similar. There's been a few times where it's been like, okay, this is what I think it is. I think it's 9 feet here, then it goes down to 12, then it comes up to about 5. And then it would be like within a foot, but at that exact same kind of transition. So it's really, really been interesting. And we have a swim that actually has a sunken car in it somewhere. So I want to see if I can get the car to show up on the deeper. So Dave's following the warm water around. Good. So he's on the wind, so he's pushing you around to new areas. Got to explore, man. And your spots kick out some serious fish. So if you find new parts of your existing swims, you might even do better than you already have been. I'm sorry. I worked my butt off this morning in the heat, so I'm really, really dehydrated. Actually, I think I need something with more sugar in it. Now, other than Dave and LP and Adam that I can see active in the chat, there's been a few other people watching on and off. In the comments or in the chat, let us know. Have you signed up? What have you thought of the Canadian Carp Society so far? I know I talk about it a lot, but I'll be honest with you, I think it's a pretty big deal. And I think it's very important for kind of what we need to help continue this sport to grow and grow in the right way, the positive direction that it needs to go in. So yeah, some people might be complaining that I'm talking about it a lot. Guess what? It means a lot to me. So it's kind of a big deal. And for those of you who are members, just try and remember that tomorrow, so April 11th, and it's there's going to be kind of like our first interactive live feed with members on a Zoom call. So kind of like what UK anglers are used to with the British Carp Society over there, where they get somebody together and they do like a slideshow and a talk and things like that, where people can show up and kind of interact together and watch these conversations. We're doing that virtually tomorrow, and that's kind of exciting. It's going to be James and I to start off with a quiz and a talk about one of his swims, and yeah, it's just going to be a fun conversation where we can then have a little bit of interaction with all the members at once. So it's going to be cool. It's not something that I've witnessed before, so I'm looking forward to it, and we're hoping to do more of them after that. Dave Penbury, I'm getting lost in the material and there's a lot more to come. Is that a good thing that you're getting lost in it? Because there is a lot of material. There's a lot of articles that a lot of us have worked on, but also a lot of the new members have been producing content as well. There's one that's an ongoing series. I think Paul's doing that, which has actually been quite an entertaining article. He's done 2 so far, and it's going to be a weekly thing. I've enjoyed that one. There's been a bunch of bait articles come up from Kevin and Chris, and they've been great. Yeah, it's just the rig videos, edge tips. Yeah, it's like there's everything in there. There's so much content already. And then, as soon as the membership boom started, the content just starts growing even more. There's just so much stuff coming up steady. And there's new ideas coming up steady as well. I know I was talking with Wayne, I think last night, about some ideas that I had, and we're just seeing it back and forth. There's so much good stuff coming out of what this group is becoming. Really, really happy about it. So yeah, Dave's really enjoying the content. What about you, LP? How much are you liking the Carp Society? Like, how much do you find it might be helping your fishing or your interaction with other anglers? Adam, the same question goes to you. What do you think? I'd love to hear it. Well, I guess I won't hear it. I'd love to read it in the chat. I thought I had a bit more new gear handy, but like I said, I've been using it, and it's kind of everywhere right now. Oh, that's interesting. So seeing the results of everyone else, because there's been a lot of fish getting caught and everybody's sharing it. It's pushing you to get out more. It's good. It helps. You need fishing, Dave. So yeah, there is something I've got here. Now, I don't know if this arrived after the last live stream or before, so I don't even know if I've told you about these yet. But why don't I lift them up and you guys can tell me if I mentioned it in the previous live stream. I'm kind of on a kick right now where I've been reading a fair bit. Obviously, because I'm a geek, I read a lot of, not a lot anymore, but I do still read some comic books and cool stuff like that. And I've been doing that a fair bit more than I have been in recent years. But I really wanted to get onto the whole carp book scene, and I figured I'd kind of start at the beginning. Now, not the beginning of carp literature, but kind of the beginning of modern carp literature. Kind of what most anglers have been kind of referring to me as the carp Bibles that I needed to read. So I'm starting with these, and then I'm going to go on from there. Lee, nice to see you. Jumping in there. So yeah, I apologize if I've already shown you these, but I'm having trouble keeping track of what I'm doing lately because I'm busy, super busy with work and everything else that's going on, and still trying to squeeze fishing in. But I'm partway into this one so far, and I got a ways to go. But starting out on this one, Carp Fever by Kevin Maddox. Apparently, this is, I imagine the camera's probably got it reversed again. I'm told that this is like essential reading for carp anglers, and books like this are not easy to come by over here. Like, these have to usually come from the UK, and these older books, they usually have to come from somebody who's just had it on their shelf for decades and finally decided to get rid of it. This is like a 10th edition printing. So this is, I think the original was from like 1981, and this is from around 1991, 92, somewhere around there. But I'm partway through it, and I'm super, super liking it so far. Other than reading like Carpology magazine, I used to get a subscription of it and get the books here. Now I don't have the physical subscription. I have the digital one, so I can still read it. It just costs a fortune to get the physical magazines here. I'll be honest with you, those read really well, and the articles that are done in that magazine are amazing, and I love reading them. But this book is written very differently, but it's also written incredibly differently than anything else I've read before. I don't quite know how to describe it yet, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and hopefully, once I get through that one, we'll open up a discussion or some sort of video or live chat where we can actually talk about that book together. Because for those of you who have also read it, I'd love to chat about it, because man, I'm enjoying it, really enjoying it. And for when that one's done, I have another one that I'm actually equally excited to read, because I'm told Carp Fever is like the technical book, talking about the specifics of like what was used and how to catch them. And this one is more of a story about angling. Oh no, Will popped in. I was not expecting that. Okay, so Will, question for you is, given that you've put your point in there of what you think the book is, have you actually read it? That would be my first question. Have you read it, and do you know many other Canadians that have read it? Because that's what I'm curious about. Like, is it something that Canadians really need to read? Like, is it as essential reading for us as it was for the Brits back in the day? Before I go on to what this next book is, because I'm curious. If anybody's going to know more people who have actually read some of this stuff, it's going to be Will. You know, very few Canadians have actually read it. Have you read it? I'm assuming you have, because you're always reading stuff. Screaming Carp Runs. Good morning. Afternoon. Yeah, I want it to be morning, but yeah, it's afternoon. Nice to see you there. Will's not telling me if he's actually read it or not. I'm waiting. So is everybody else. Have you read it? Hasn't read the book from front to back, but he's read many passages. Well, I'm reading it front to back, and afterwards I would like to discuss with people thoughts on it, kind of like a book report. Ooh, classic. Back in the old elementary school days, we'll do the Anglerphiles book report as I get through some of these things. That could be kind of neat. Might have to actually do that. Now, the next book, this one I'm told is more of like the storytelling version of what comes out of that. So 2 different perspectives and 2 different writing styles to kind of cover the same passion. This is Rod Hutchinson's The Carp Strikes Back. And just to show you how important these books are, like I said, that one was on a 10th edition that I found. I think I got that one from someone in the States. This edition, so this book was originally published in 1983, so I was 5. And this is a 2016 edition. So these are still being printed and put out there. Like, this is brand new. This is mint shape. This came from an actual bookshop in the UK. Had to find these both on eBay just to get my hands on them. And there's a whole slew of other books that I want to get. It's just the prices of some of them have been ridiculous. You know, I don't want to spend $100 on a book and then another $50 or $60 in shipping. I think the 2 of these books together, I got for about $30 and then about $25 shipping, because one came from the States, one came from the UK. So I got really good deals on these. I just had to probably spend about an hour on eBay digging through the lists of all of them till I found some that were actually what I felt was a good deal. It's tough. I love books and I love reading, but I don't want to spend a fortune on books that I really don't know enough about. My book collection's pretty cool. I have a lot of old books. I've got some old Sherlock Holmes books that are like first and second printing. I've got an original printing of H.G. Wells' The Time Machine. So I do enjoy having books in my collection. Oh, what's going on here? Wrong number. Okay, let's see here. Hutchinson was one of the most important figures and revolutionary thinkers in the sport in the UK at the time. Well, I would imagine that's why they've got books out and people are still printing it, because obviously, as I've been told, it's essential reading. So I'm going to read them. The next one on my list, once I get through these two, is to go back through some of the old books by Chris Yates, because I absolutely love watching Chris Yates on YouTube. The older videos that he's done that have been put up there. Love watching him. I find him incredibly entertaining. But he's done a number of books, and I would like to get my hands on some of those. Maybe down the road some Terry Hearn books. I haven't decided yet. I'm really not a Daryl Peck fan, but I've heard that his book is incredibly good. So yeah, I've got a lot to choose from, and a lot of other anglers from the classic days, the back in the day, that have done books that I really think I should check out. So there's going to be more about the Carpy book kind of content going through later in the year. Probably what's going to happen is I'll spend the year gathering up a whole slew of books, and then next winter, when I'm not fishing as much, when I'm doing more of my trout fishing and stuff like that, ice fishing, that's when I'll probably really sit down and plow through all the books. The little bit that I've got into Carp Fever so far, not terribly far into it, but that was just sat down after work one evening, beer at my side, and in the time it took me to drink that beer, I plowed through a couple chapters. So I don't think it'll take me long to get through these, but I'm enjoying it so far. Let's see. Back to his point about regurgitation. Many magazines, videos, and etc. that we Canadians have digested is essentially these foundational ideas are being revamped and or reworded. Okay, makes sense. You heard it here, folks. Everybody has now seen it in print. Will is saying that everything he says is a regurgitation of these guys, or guys like him. Actually, he's not saying that. I'm saying that about him. But it's fun, because I like giving him a hard time. It's enjoyable. That is my pleasure for the day, picking on Will. Bingo. So, yeah, I'm sorry I don't have a whole slew of topics to go over. I had intended on planning this out better. But like I said, I've been so busy. There's a lot going on. A lot of good things going on, fishing-wise. Like I said, the Carp Society, new gear. Actually getting out and getting into some fish myself. Kevin's been doing well. We got to get Dave into some fish. His schedule's been tough. There's been a lot of difficult things going on as well with family, work, things like that trying to deal with and cope with. But, life and fishing don't always have that perfect balance that you want. I don't think it's possible. But one of those things, we just have to deal with it. Headed out this evening again. When are you out next? I'm not 100% certain. I'm hoping to get out for tomorrow. I don't know for how long. I don't know for sure if I will, but as it stands right now, that's my goal. It depends on what I can get done around here today with what I have that I'm working on. Prep that I have to do for tomorrow's presentation, time with the kid, I got lots of stuff I got to do today. And if I can get all of that kind of caught up and where I need it to be, then I'll probably sneak out for a little bit tomorrow. I just haven't decided where yet. And given where you've caught your fish, Will, I saw that you had your first fish of the season the other day, or yesterday. My question would be, that spot that you and I have been discussing up in your area, are you going to go back to that? Are you going to stick with that until you get a fish out of that location? Because I think you should. It's going to happen. The question is when. Not if, but when. LP, fish in the water. You on your meds? Special painkillers that are making you say silly things? You're going to head back there as soon as you're waiting for the water to come up a wee bit more. I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be waiting for the water to come up. I'd be fishing it while it's low because it's going to warm up faster. When it comes up, you're going to have more of that cold water rushing in. But I don't know. Whenever you can get back there, just keep me posted because, like I said, I'm curious to know about that spot. And with some of the family stuff going on at the end of the month, if that trip that I have to make to deliver people to certain places, I will be in your area, and I'll definitely want to walk by and just have a look. Won't be able to fish it, but I want to have a look. LP, definitely on the meds for sure. Yes, good. Keep me posted. I want updates. Trying to look around. Like I said, I've got so much new stuff kind of floating around and everywhere. The problem is I've also got comic books from some friends of mine that I've got all over my desk because these are on my also on my to read list. Monster carp tackle gear, some swivels, some hooks. They just haven't made it into the tackle bag yet. Little Corda cases for inside my Corda tackle box. Let's see. Oh, okay. This is probably something I have to do this afternoon. I need to get some more braid onto, well, some new braid onto the last of my 75 spools. Like I said, I got stuff absolutely everywhere because I've been so busy. I'm not keeping up with what I need to do. It's a jungle in here. It's tough to be obsessed with carp fishing because, you know, on top of all the other weird obsessions that I have that you can see behind me, the carp fishing gear is everywhere and it all intermingles. So I have camera gear tucked in around the art stuff and the comic books, and I have comic books mixed in with the camera equipment and fishing gear here, and I got pop-ups and goo and ectoplasm and more pop-ups, and those are not actually supposed to be here because they're in the spot where I keep all my thumb drives. So, oh, hey, I also have fortune cookies. Yeah, I have stuff absolutely everywhere where it shouldn't be. Nice piece of black foam. I think this was around one of the guides of one of the rods I picked up. I'm just looking at that and realizing that's some nice zig foam right there. Oh, that ectoplasm got all over my finger. I'm gonna have to wipe those bottles down. Let's see here. So let's see here before we get into that, because LP's talking to you. Got to find me a special wheelchair that I can put a pod on. Okay. I really wasn't a fan of the video, but there was a YouTuber, quite a popular YouTuber that fishes for carp, who went out and tried to do a test about what it's like to fish in a wheelchair. I really wasn't a fan of how he did that, but it can be done. He did work out a way to do it. Not necessarily a pod, but the appropriate kind of rod holder to do it. Will, what are your thoughts on the new Witchwoods? Tell the folks. I guess you came in late. I already did that. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a proper review video because I've got the Riot Spod rod. I've got the Extricator fishing rods, the reels. yeah, I'm going to go over all that, I think, in a proper review video of that equipment, because that way I can get all the information out there. But since you missed it, I've already mentioned, I absolutely love them. I think they're amazing. £2 test curve madness. Nah, I don't need to go that low. I actually like being able to play my fish in and have a little bit of control so that I'm not playing them out too long. I know you like to play your fish for like 45 minutes. It's an inside joke, by the way. Yeah, you say that. I don't think it is. Pretty sure you just got some 9-foot Witchwood Riots that are 2.75 test curves. It's not that far off. Best way to test them is in Peterborough, right? No, nobody wants to go to Peterborough. Peterborough sucks. No good fishing in there. I caught the last good fish that was there. So we're just about at the 1 hour mark. Usually this is when we get into the groove and people really start interacting in the chat. I ran out of stuff to go over. I don't know where all my stuff is right now. LP, we regret the decision the second he picked up his rods. With fast action all the way through. Felt more like 3 pound. Show some munch. Well, the only munch that I have here is the stuff I showed a few months ago because I haven't taken it out. If you would like a little plug for it, though, LP, I will say this. I've been using the pineapple seed syrup, munch syrup, in my pack bait, and that's been helping me catch. Most of my fish have been coming on singles, just casting singles out lately. But as we've been going into the creeks and getting a little bit more activity there, obviously we're fishing with pack bait, and I'm not fishing with singles as much. So the pack bait has had the pineapple syrup in it, and I think it's helping because it makes the whole thing smell nice. So even when I leave the bucket in the van for a couple of days, a little squirt of the pineapple seed liquid on there takes away some of that sour smell of the pack bait. Because I'm horrible at cleaning out buckets, and I always think, okay, I'm going to go put some bait out tomorrow, and then I forget to do that. So it sits in there in the van for a couple of days. Got a whole bucket full of hemp seed and corn that I got to put out somewhere tonight, just in case I do fish tomorrow. So I need to pick my location, be sure that I can go put some bait out tonight so that I have it ready for tomorrow. I hate the uncertainty. But yeah, that's one thing I do like about that syrup, that it takes that sour smell off the pack bait. Actually, I saw that photo, Dave. You used the see, I got a couple right here. The Monster Carp Tackle Bait Rockets. These guys, I absolutely love these things. I saw the photo, Dave using these on lead clips. Now, I would hate that because I wouldn't want to lose these things because they're awesome, and I would hate for them to be a one-time use thing. But you're saying you like that better than on the helicopter setup. I have used these when I'm fishing a chatty. So this will be on the end of my leader. My chatty's coming up off the leader, and I've got my pack bait packed into here. And I've done really well doing that. I've had a lot of good fish. Not just a lot of small fish, but I've had a lot of really good fish doing that. I don't know if I could bring myself to do this on a lead clip where I'm likely to lose this thing. But you're saying you like it better. Well, I like it when my pack bait gets all gray and fuzzy. Well, you keep getting older, you're going to get that way too. So you like it on the lead clip better, eh? Why do you? Can you let us know why you think you like the helicopter better? Okay, I'm just misreading. I'm trying to keep up. So you do like the helicopter setup better? Okay, not the lead clip. It looked good on the lead clip though. That looked really neat But yeah, I suppose I should try this in a helicopter setup. I'm sure I did at some point, but not recently. I've been using these with chotties lately. But yeah, these, you go onto monstercarptackle.com. I usually buy them at like 10 at a time. And, you do end up losing them. It's inevitable, but these are essential pieces of kit as far as I'm concerned. If you use pack bait or like a really sticky ground bait, and you don't necessarily want to be using a lead clip setup, helicopter or chatty, this is the way to go, and you can still fish that bait great. Essentially, this is just a fast way of doing like a PVA bag without the PVA. LP, do you have any Netflix series suggestions? Because I have a lot of time to kill. I'll be honest with you, I've not been paying attention to Netflix lately. I have a lot of different services. I have Disney Plus, I have Prime Video, and I have Netflix. I have been watching a few programs on Disney Plus, and I'm watching some on Prime Video, but they're all like geek related stuff. Like I'm watching The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm watching Invincible because I read the Invincible comics, and I'm absolutely loving the animated series. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they're two of my favorite characters from the Captain America comics that I read for so long. Like 30 years of reading Captain America. Those are two amazing characters now put together without him. Plus, you've added in John Walker, who becomes U.S. agent, who's currently Captain America, who's a complete jerk. These are great TV series, but if you're not into that geek stuff, LP, you're probably not going to want to watch it. What I would suggest you do, LP, this is something that I also have done, is I subscribe to Supography. I'm not sure if I mentioned that before, but I have been going back, binge watching. I try to watch one episode a day just to try and get myself caught up. And if I can't get through a whole episode one night after work, I'll watch half, and then I watch the next half the next day. I am up to episode 31 right now, and it's good. I enjoy it. There are things about it I wish they would get more on the ball with. Like, not every episode has the chapter markers. I do find a lot of spelling errors in the write-ups about each episode. It's just stuff that I notice, but it takes a little bit away from the professional element to me. But actually watching the content and enjoying the videos, I really am enjoying them. The one thing I do miss at the episode point that I'm in now is that there hasn't been one of the cooking segments in a long time, and I absolutely love watching these guys cook in the Ridge Monkeys. I don't know. Carp fishing, bankside cooking is just something that I really, really have gotten a fix on. I love cooking shows to begin with, but cooking in the Ridge Monkey is something special, and I would like to see a little bit more of that online. So LP, I would say to you, screw Netflix, sign up, start watching Supography. I know a lot of guys are talking a lot of good things about Daryl Peck's thing, Carp Fix. I don't know if that one's for me or not, but you never know. Maybe when I'm done with Supography, I'll try that one out for a while. We'll see. That's why you fish with Phil and Julian. They cook good food all the time. Yeah, that's why some people fish with me, because I do all the cooking. I'm a pain in the butt. I don't mind doing it, but I don't want to have to cook gourmet meals every single time I sit down to cook. One big meal kind of does me for the day when I'm fishing. I don't need to eat multiple times. Did really, really good, kind of like a cross between fajitas and burritos a couple weeks back on the bank. I had meant to film it, and then I just got so frustrated, I ended up just cooking and eating. And because the day had gone crappy, I had just lost a fish, wasn't going well. So I sat down all mopey and just sulking, basically. Kevin left, and I cooked up all this food. I had a good, healthy, hearty lunch. And then somebody flipped a switch, and the fish went nuts, and I had 5 fish in about a 2-hour span that night, right after I ate. Didn't get all that on video. So that'll be good. That I think actually that'll be probably the next video that I put up on the 17th. So next Saturday. I guess I should get some editing done because I haven't even pulled the files of that off the memory card yet. Well, there we go, guys. We've hit the 1 hour mark. You know, it's been fun to do the chatter. I wish I had more to go over at this point, but like I said, I've been really busy and I got a lot going on, so I haven't had a lot of time to put some things together. Yeah, your specialty is ramen noodles. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Actually, that makes perfect sense to me. I'm really good for Swedish berries. Dave Pendlebury knows how well these work for me. It's not just a good snack, it's a great bait. So, yeah, you know what, guys? I think, I think I'm going to wrap this one up. Sorry, I'm not going to go longer this time. The longer live streams I've really been enjoying. But I've got some stuff I need to get done this afternoon if I want any chance of fishing tomorrow. So keep watching the channel. We've got new videos coming. I think I've got 4 new videos complete. One of those I think I need to shoot an ending for because I never actually finished it. So I might have to just go out on the bank and let you know what the end result was of what happened in that session. So we got some new stuff coming. And by the time we get through all that material, we'll be well into May, and the big girls should be coming out. We should be getting in some really big fish. Pretty much everybody. Again, if you haven't signed up for the Canadian Carp Society, there's still time to enjoy that introductory rate to join up. So you have until April 20th to do that before the price goes up. Again, our first kind of live interaction with members over Zoom is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. It's for members only. So if you want to join, everybody except LP. I'm sure you'll be in there. Well, you can't get out fishing, so you need an Xbox. You can play fishing on the Xbox. But yeah, if you want to join in, you know, and get to see some of that member content, the articles, the videos, the Edge videos, the live content that we're going to do hopefully every couple of months, depending on how well it goes. We finish the games. Yeah, now's the time to join up if you haven't already. Once you join up, if you like it, make sure that you're posting about your thoughts. You know, one of the important things that I think the guys behind it want to know is the feedback. Let them know what you think of the site. That's how it's going to improve. So I know we had some issues with the site being a little bit slow with the more members we were getting, the servers being upgraded. People were really wanting an app on their phones. The app for iOS is done and it's being tested right now. Android should be coming up. Oh, Rory says bye. Bye, Rory. Talk to you later. So yeah, there's a lot of great things coming down the line for the Carp Society. So, you know, look into it if you're interested. Join if you want to. It's there and it's growing. As far as this channel goes, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. Like I said, new content coming. I'm working on some new stuff. As I've already mentioned today, lots of product reviews that I want to be getting done over the next little while because I got a lot of new gear that I want to cover. I'll give you a little hint. The new items that I have on the way that should arrive probably Monday or Tuesday. The Signet Quick Lock Pod Kit for my 10-footers. So I will definitely be doing a review of that. I have a new brand of PVA mesh that I've not tried yet. That's coming that I want to try. And because of how much camera gear I now carry with me, my little camera bag is not sufficient. So I have the tracker camera bag on the way. All that's coming in one package, and we'll be going over all that material again soon. LP, how can you buy an Anglophile shirt? At this point, you cannot. I shut down the store that had the shirts in it because one, there wasn't enough people buying them, and two, I wasn't getting anything out of that. So as far as Anglophiles merchandise, it's on hold for now. And I'm hoping next winter I can work out something where I can actually get a little bit of an inventory of shirts. I know people really like the hoodies that we did. You know, I kind of just did them for our small teams, but there's a lot of demand. There's a lot of people that want them. It's just, it takes a lot to kind of put together the money to get what I need first. So I'm thinking probably October-ish, we're going to revisit the whole shirt hoodie kind of thing. And I'll maybe do a small run of them for people to get them around then. So think about the fall, LP, and then we'll have some more. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in and, you know, bantering in the chat. I really, really enjoy that part. Like I said, that's why we do this, is to be able to interact. Yeah, you're going to see me on the CCS if you're a member. Probably see me on the bank because I'm going to be out as much as I can. I usually will be fishing just myself or with one or two guys like Kevin or Dave. You know, we're trying to make sure that we're staying in a small group. But yeah, everything's going well. It's kicking off. People are catching fish early, and it's great to see the positivity behind it. So get out there, get on the bank, get some fish. Adam, if you're still watching, I hope you guys catch today. And yeah, Screaming Carp friends, thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. Take care. All of you, have a good rest of your April, and we will reconvene live right here in May. And we'll go over some of the maybe the books, some of the new gear, maybe how everybody's season's been going up to that point. So until then, thank you, appreciate it, and take care.